All right, guys, welcome to Treehouse number 30. Yeah, we're going to be talking about the new infrastructure updates and apparently a whole lot more, Alex has said. Without further ado, I'll pass it straight to Alex and we'll get into it. Okay, when you're ready, Alex.
Well, yep. Hi, everyone. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Peter because he has mentioned that it would be great to hear from the team, and basically that was a trigger for the meeting. And as I mentioned earlier, we have a lot to share, actually more than we thought we can. So there are a lot of things that we will unveil that have been in process for over a year. So there are way more changes than in the infrastructure, but also before I begin, I'd like to remind you that I'm always available in Slack for any Zoom calls, Google Meet, or anything. I have Slack open all the time. I don't personally respond in Slack because I have people that do that, but every week we go through all the responses. Every Wednesday, actually, we go through all the responses with the person that's responsible for answering all the questions. So, but you can always direct message me personally and request a call or something. And some people do that, especially when it's related to project. So I'm always available as before. Nothing has changed in that matter. We actually switched to Google Meet. I forgot how to use Zoom. Okay, do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so in today's presentation, I'm going to start with a quick update on the team, and I will talk a little bit about the partner survey, which some of you owe us still. I'll give you the update on versions 6.10, and also I will give you updates on version 6 and version 6, 7, and 7.1. What's going to come in those sprints. I'm going to share a little secret project that's been in the process for almost a year. And we're going to switch to Q&A. Well, the team has been spread out. We have consolidated our main office safely. The team has been spread out to 5 countries, but everybody's 100% safe. And technically, for us, it looks exactly as it was during the COVID. And the team has been working more hours now because there's not much you can do, especially for those who are in Ukraine and other countries. And so the team is basically dedicating themselves to work more on the product, and they've been doing a great job. You'll see the details soon. But everybody's safe, everybody's healthy. We have some support from the government for our business, so they support businesses like ours. So they're doing fine, and the family members as well. In fact, I should thank Adobe that helping to some of our Adobe team from Romania, helping with some of our employees in Romania. So partner survey. This time we made it personalized. We actually, based on the partner's activity, we have sent the survey, and that's why that's an annual survey. As you know, we usually send it in January. That's why it took us longer to send out. So I really thank everyone for who filled it out. This was just a pure goal, and we meticulously read through everything and make notes, and especially with the current research that we do on other platforms that I'll share later. This is just a simply pure gold, and whoever didn't fill this up, please do, because I'm actually calling people and asking them to fill it up because there's been a lot of work put into this. I think I've called at least one person in this chat right before the meeting. So thank you very much, and looking forward to hearing more from you. So public backlog version 6.10, we've been doing that since November. So aside the infrastructure update, we have 19 public backlog items delivered to the system. I'm going to show you those, and all of them came from you. So these were requested by you, mostly through forum, and added by Peter. So if we go to in process, we have the infrastructure overhaul, and I'll expand on that later. And here are all the 19 features from the backlog that are coming to the platform in May. So I'll just you can read this through. I'm not going to take your time. So if you go in process, you can read this through. Most of them have forum discussions, and they were coming either from a lot of them from Tim, from Adam, from other partners that are here. We're switching from Angular version 13 to version 15. If you probably don't follow Angular, which is totally fine, but they have redeveloped their framework, and it requires a lot of work to switch from Angular 13 to 15. But we're going to have the latest and greatest in the admin. So the admin will receive UI UX refresh, and it's gonna look way more mature and competitive if you enter the other competitors admin and compare it to future Treepl admin, to newer version. Also, the newer version of Angular will allow us to deliver changes to the admin faster, at least 30% faster. That's based on Eugen's feedback, the guy who's responsible for it. One little thing that I personally love, it's going to have native dark theme option coming from the box, not a Chrome extension. So I'm going to use that. Okay, so, and now the infrastructure update that's taken us so long. So this is the infrastructure that we have on our website and some of our resources. You've probably seen this one. So this is what you share with your clients, IT departments, if they request that. And we have changed this part. So this part is being changed at the moment, and that's the biggest part, the biggest work. And this is what we're changing. So this is the old one, and this is the new one. And as you can see, we have 3 new parts: a load balancer, we're switching from .NET 5 to .NET 7, the latest from Microsoft. We're also changing the file storage to S3, and these are the things that will affect this change. Besides the fact that we're going to have the latest technologies in the backend level with load balancer and S3 storage, we're not going to have downtimes for security updates. So sometimes for security updates, we had to reboot the sites during the night. With this implementation, we will do that without actually taking down websites. We can do that faster and on demand, and sites will not go down. We'll also automate server scaling, switching and adding the new servers. You may know that Amazon is constantly adding new options, new servers, and sometimes if we reach a limit, we need to upgrade a server or even change the server to a different tier. So this way we can do that without even taking down the websites and make it way faster. I already said about that, seamless upgrades to the newer server generations. And this is a first step, a major step, a main step to launch a staging environment for websites. The .NET version 7 upgrade will also give us security and speed. We're already quite fast, but we're going to make it even faster because the .NET version 7 is quite fast. It is, I also wanted to notice that we decided that we're going to wanted to know that we decided that we're going to make infrastructure update at least every year because we don't want to have zero legacy code. We agreed that from the very beginning. Again, we're very lucky to be a private company and have ability to make those kind of decisions. So, and we're extremely grateful for the opportunities that we can take 3-4 months to spend on infrastructure internal changes rather than reaching business goals. So that is important. We will in the future, we'll try to do those in the end of year, because this is the like usually Christmas and beginning of New Year is less active. So that's perfect time for us to do any infrastructure updates. So this will happen in the future. I doubt it's going to be like 3 months term, 3-4 months term, should be less. But this is what we have, how we treat the infrastructure and the updates. In the long term, things like this will allow us to build bigger things on Treepl and keep the platform fast, like really, really fast compared to competition. The performance should remain outstanding. So version 6, 7, and scope and deliveries. We are working on the new plans, pricing plans, and pricing model with extensions. So we will announce the extensions, pricing, and we will also we will add that in version 7. Expected July is 2023. I know there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of feedback we already got from the survey because we mentioned that in the survey. We will add items from the public backlog that have votes and bug fixes. Regarding new plans and pricing model, I know it's a very gentle topic, and we are trying to take the best approach within our values and promises to involve the community, and as we did from the very beginning. So our goals for the plans and pricing is, number one, is to make it competitive compared to the competition. As again, we don't want to be an underpriced platform, and from our research, it looks like we are right now. Second, we want to be flexible for current functionality and future upcoming functionality. And third, we want it to be reseller friendly. So for all the current resellers and the newcomers, we want it to be friendly, so not to scare away the not to scare away the current resellers and the new people that are coming. And we have a roadmap. Yeah, we have a roadmap for how we're going to implement the new pricing model and plans. Let me show you how it looks like. I wanted to do that in the presentation, but I'm going to show you how we manage it from the inside so you can see all the steps. So this is we have a project, separate project for that, and these are all the steps. So this is the sub project we're doing for it. So we have finalized the list of competitors, and we created the agency must-have checklist. We should probably have something. So this is the one of the tables we currently have. We have 2 people working full-time right now, just researching that, and we're gathering all that data in this document. So we have grouped the all of our competition into traditional CMS platforms that are software as a service, work in a software as a service model. We also have 3 headless CMS platforms for the reason, and you'll hear more about that. You'll understand more about that in the future, closer to summer. While we are working on the position ourselves on the market, we have come to the conclusion that we want to cover this market, and we have a huge potential in this particular market. So, so there's a lot of stuff. We have We are comparing plans right now to define the pricing of each platform. So currently we created agency must have checklist. So if what agencies actually look for in each platform, and what we do, we rate each platform. We give them a rating for each item in the checklist, and then we will basically take the ratings of all the platforms, take their pros and cons, and compare them to Treeple. And that way we will build the pricing based on that, see what we can change. So what pros other platforms our competition have besides the price, and what cons they have, and basically make sure that our offer is the best. So it's a lot of time. It takes us a lot of time. So we have 2 people that work full time. 4 more people, including me, work on that as well, not full time. But it's extremely fun. We actually enjoyed it a lot. We see a lot of new things, a lot of new features. So our plan, next step for after this is we're given rating right now. That's where we're working right now. In our next, on the integration, we'll create a new table with pricing. We'll design a sketch, and we're going to do a shortlist demo of the prototype to resellers, to select resellers. Then we're going to apply the feedback from the short list of resellers. Then we're going to develop a page, apply those, lay those out on the page, and we're going to do a long list demo to selected resellers. We're going to apply the feedback from them, and then we're going to integrate it. So we plan to do this July 2023. We'll plan to finish all of this. Before we move on, are there any questions at this point on this part?
Sorry, Alex.
Yes.
Can I please one question with the infrastructure update? Would this also enable us to use CDNs?
CDN?
CDNs, yeah, content delivery networks around the globe, or
like Cloudflare?
Yep, or AWS. Yep.
You can use it now.
Okay. I did ask the question recently, and the answer was no.
Really?
Yeah.
Adam, you're using it, right?
Sorry?
Adam, I thought Adam was using it. No.
Okay. So
Yeah,
we had a requirement with one of our clients. Yeah. Okay. I'll follow it up. Thank you.
Well, I know that we have Alexei here. Maybe I hope I understand the
No worries. I'll follow it up. Thank you.
I know we have for dedicated servers, we have special integration with CDN. Because we built actually a solution with through their API.
I think what Alexei told me is that CDN is not integrated into Treeple hosting, the regular hosting, but you can always book it externally as an extra service directly from like Cloudflare or other services.
Okay, can you follow me up in the email?
I will. Thank you.
Can you put it on the Slack? Yeah, that way we're gonna.
There was a conversation with Alexei about that, but I can't see it anymore because of the we don't have a history going back that long on Slack, so I can't see that conversation anymore.
Okay. If you could put that in Slack, he's gonna answer once again, so others would see, and you could please tag me there as well. Okay, so on the version 7.1, our main target will be public API. So we're gonna have open API pretty extensive, and we know who are we targeting it with this topic, and we're gonna add items from the public backlog. So, and we plan to launch this in September 2023. And we have a little secret project that we've been working on quite some time during the planning and strategy on our future and position in the market. I made a decision that we're gonna rebrand Treepl. So we're gonna change the name, and it's been in the process. I know it's a lot of work for Adam for the videos and stuff, but we're gonna do this after version 7.1. So it's gonna be like a mini release and a separate communication. And I'm probably gonna do, if you guys want, do a demo. How can we, present that in a demo to resellers, like make it like an exclusive thing? Why going away from Treeple to a new name and so on. Also, if you have any feedback, like you think it's a huge mistake, I'm also open to that. There's a lot of behind this decision, so yeah, that's what we're gonna do. There's one little thing. Barry, I didn't even know you were here. Okay, so this one is for you. This is a sneak peek for you. The new name is going to be very American. I mean, at least it was inspired by American naming technique. So would be happy to hear your thoughts when that happens. Just want to do a quick notes I got from the team to mention on the so we have issues with OpenSRS, and we can do things about it, unfortunately. So in the status, if you haven't noticed, we have Alexei wrote down an article, so could you please read that? So that's a problem for us as well. And this is the thing, they're changing their infrastructure big time. So they're moving from something, as we understand, self-made to something like AWS and stuff. So they've been on a legacy platform and they have trouble right now. So this is once again proves the importance of how it is important to update your infrastructure on a regular basis. So we hope they're going to figure it out, but it's quite a challenge. Also, there was one thing mentioned to me that I'd like to point out that I mentioned that in the beginning about me not posting stuff in Slack and creating this feeling of activity and so on. So we manage things a little different and we have a little different process and approach than we did during the BC time when things were all around Business Catalyst end of life. So things are more in and out right now, inside out. In and Out is my favorite burger place in California. So everything is inside out. I have 6 people that are responsible for various directions, and we have weekly meetings every Wednesday where we go through so all these projects, all the projects of these 6 people that are here, and we go through everything with together. It's always at least 2 hours, and that's how we basically that's how the system works. But again, I watch forum Slack every day. It was really hard to not respond to things in the very beginning, but this approach has proven to be way more effective in the long run. So if you have a feeling I have disappeared, you're very wrong. And one little thing that's left, we have a new address and new entity. So we don't have Upgrade Parade LLC anymore, but instead we have Upgrade Parade Corp that is registered and located in Florida, in Sarasota County. And we have updated that in terms and conditions. So if you need that we didn't do an announcement on that because it's just a simple change of address. Okay, so that's the last thing I have. And if you have any questions.
2 questions, Alex. So you mentioned the admin would be getting a facelift. Is that based on a template or are you designing?
No,
scratch?
No. It based on some things were coming from Angular, as I understand it, but Julia and Mikhailo, they did an overhaul. They basically went through all the icons, the fonts, the spacing. They collected your feedback from the public backlog. So, also let me show you one thing. So just to give you, I hope I'm not going to show you something. One of the things that we're doing right now is we're getting ready. We're doing a lot of activity around. So we're positioning ourselves in the market. Right? So we're learning our competition, and we will to understand who are we targeting, and we're going to do a lot of marketing activity after rebranding. So rebranding is our final step into identifying with our identity. So we're going to update the website. We're going to update like this things in here, like our mission. It was temporarily. So after that, we're going to market a lot of new resellers, new users. So we have things that we'll do an overhaul for portal, Treepl portal, like things when you arrive to Treepl portal, there are like little tutorials, where to click, things like that, interactive things with animations, all those things to make it friendly, new user friendly. So this was like well, the overhaul that we're going to have right now is the first step to this whole project.
Okay, cool. And with the infrastructure updates, are we likely to see a noticeable improvement just in general page speed or like liquid processing? Or is it more?
It's not going to be slower for sure.
Yep.
100%, because the actual core is faster and up to date. But it's good that you mentioned, because we actually have a separate task right now, speed comparison, the old version versus new version. It's still in process. But we definitely are gonna, I mean, I try to keep it, don't make any promises. It should be faster. We're really proud of how we keep things on the back end. But I really have a lot of hopes it's going to be even faster than it is right now. We do like one of the things that for example, Wix has a major issue with speed. Both the admin and the builder, and even the front end. And it's kind of, it seems like it's an issue for a lot of platforms, especially for heavy sites. Right now, we are working on this huge site. It had several thousand. It's a separate project. Several thousand web pages. It's a WordPress site. Complete Frankenstein. Absolutely unusable. It's just a nightmare. And we're moving this to Treepl, and their main concern is speed. Besides the fact that everything breaks when they try to update it and so on, they even find with it. The speed is the huge thing. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question. The last infrastructure update from 5 to 6 was kind of a bit rocky. Don't know if you guys remember that. That was hard because you changed the whole infrastructure, including the database.
Mm-hmm.
When I see your presentation, I hope it's not going to be like that again.
That's a good point. Well, first of all, we were in a hurry last time because of the BCUL. So this time, as you see, we're not in a hurry. we thought we were going to finish it faster. We're really spoiled by the fact that we're not in a hurry, but it's in a good way. So it helps us to make all the right decisions. We have this ability, we have this wonderful opportunity to afford taking time to make it the best way. So as you can see, the database remains the same. It's just the storage is changing. And we're upgrading, we're adding an extra layer. We don't change any layer for the load balancer. And we're upgrading the existing technology framework, .NET. We're not changing it from one to another. So this is way smaller change compared to 5 to 6. And we're gonna do it in batches. We're gonna probably make us one data center, the smallest one, and see how it goes. So it's gonna take time. There's nobody in the community who's requiring version 6.10 up until this meeting, unless you really want these features, but I doubt it. So, but I hear your point.
Alex, will the infrastructure update hit trial sites first, or because it's infrastructure, it's going to apply to everything at once? I know you said in batches.
That's a good question. That's a good question. I actually have to find out. Maybe I could. Of course, if it's going to be trial, then we'll have to do it in trials only first. But I'm not 100% sure. That's a good question. We can discuss that with you, during those dailies. Maybe there's a way to make it even more granular.
Okay, sure.
For the pricing model, we try to make it like really deep, and there are a lot of ideas to switch from just a classic 4 plans, 5 plans. So it's quite a challenge from one. One of our biggest challenge right now is that we are the only ones who have reseller pricing the way it is now on our platform, and it's one of our problems. So that's one of the things that we're trying to tackle. How do we attract resellers but not scare away the site owners? So because all the platforms, they're target the site owners primarily, and resellers as a separate fraction. We have it differently. We target as resellers, which is a challenge.
I have 2 questions about pricing. The one question goes in the direction of extensions, the ones which are already there, like Backup, Zapier, and so on. A big challenge is actually to market those to our clients, because I don't have any idea how much they cost. So if I do a project and I integrate Zapier as an essential tool for their workflow, my client's workflow, I would do this without knowing how much the client will actually have to pay for this. And this is something I have a hard time actually doing that. Second question would be pricing and plans in general. Like some of our projects, they take quite some time for development. So it's important to know kind of if you guys want to change the pricing plans and the kind of different tailoring of the features, that might affect existing projects which are in development and which are already quoted. And that could be an issue in terms of client relationships, maybe even liability. It depends on like how we quote these. But there should be a kind of a buffer, or like at least a bit of a beforehand notification, or maybe like a legacy option or something like this, so we can basically grandfather those old plans we quoted into that new pricing structure you're going to go for.
Gotcha. Well, thanks. These are really good questions. On the first one, on the extensions, I must admit we made a mistake with that's like a major mistake, but giving you the beta versions without future pricing has affected the usage of those extensions. So we didn't expect people would use those wouldn't use those extensions as much as we thought they would, except backup. You guys most of you use backup and take advantage of that, and I hope you charge your clients for that. It's been there for a year or something. So we probably should have worked in the pricing model first, and then give you the release the extensions. But we got caught into, I remember how those decisions were made. We really wanted to deliver those features because some of you really wanted Zapier, really wanted backup because you couldn't make a sale because the platform doesn't make backup. So we were very anxious to deliver give that functionality. On the second note, I understand the challenge of changing the pricing. So I've seen that in the BC, and I've seen how they handle that. I see that in other platforms because it's 2022 inflation and all that stuff and how it's been done. And I still communicate a lot with you guys and still have those connections with you guys, and I understand that these two steps, short list demo and long list demo, that we're going to give to you, we basically, we will pull, it's going to be blanket pulling. But I trust you that you're interested in making it fair and that you trust us and will help us to reach these goals. We trust you that you're okay with the price being competitive, not overpriced, not underpriced. And we trust that you make it flexible for us. So in the future, we're going to add more value to the platform. They're releasing new big functionality that bring a lot of value to you that you can resell. And we're also going to have a portion of it. It's going to be also flexible, and we're going to take advantage of that. And we want to make it reseller friendly for you, for your existing clients, and for the future projects that you're going to do. So it's going to be an interesting conversation. It's going to be maybe with a little heat, but when we're going to present it, actually is going to present it as we're going to put the approved by resellers mark. So when we're going to substantiate the changes, and we're basically going to present it to all the platform with users from your approval. So it's going to be a journey. But I totally understand that we are here to help your business, to not lose clients, but gain more clients. And also, there's one thing that I've noticed, that we're probably going to share the data we gather right now from researching all those platforms, because there's a lot of insights. So you may benefit from knowing the pros and cons of the competition when you're bidding for a project. You bring Treepl versus WordPress or Shopify or even bigger platforms. So even when the price will change, and you will have to communicate that to your clients, you will have to substantiate that based on this data. We also thought of confirming this list. So we did it on our own discussion. Is that the agency must-have checklist? So we may turn to some of you to, for example, Violetta told us today that we should probably contact Catherine to get this updated and check if we have everything in the must-have checklist for SEO. I hope I answered your question, Tom. You're
yeah. Yeah, I agree with all what you say. It's just like when it comes down to making decisions, at the end of the day, it's we need dates, we need like facts. We need like assurances, one assurance you can give us right away, if you can, is like that you tell us that existing plans are not affected. Like that's what BC did. Like when they were upgrading their plans and there was this change from, what was it, marketing to gold, silver, whatnot, we would stay with the existing clients on the existing plan. So we would not have to kind of change anything with the existing contracts we have, and just the new plans would be affected, those we were putting live after the change. So that would be great. And yeah, the sooner we know, as I said, like some projects are in the making for like half a year, extensive big projects, and which means that we made the quote like in, let's say, if we're gonna go live in June, we made the quote in January, and based on what we knew in January. So if we want to go live in June and the prices are changing and features are basically affected, that would be a problem, as I said.
I'm familiar with techniques on how it works with other platforms like grandfather-ins and all that stuff. I understand all this. It would be super stupid business decision of me if I make you lose your clients because of our pricing changes. I completely understand. And again, we are like we have it on our website. I know it may sound cheeky for something, but we still have this as a promise. So we promise to involve the most investor resource in our decision-making process. So we will discuss that. I'm not promising it's going to be the most pleasant conversation, but we want to talk, we want to discuss this, we want to go through this together. And we definitely don't want to set you up. We want you to sell more and do more in Treepl, 100%. By default, you want the everything to be $1. It would be the best for all of you guys, but it wouldn't be great for us. We, on the other side, we want to have everything $1,000 each plan, but it's impossible for you to do business. So we will have to find the best solution for both, mutually beneficial solution for both of us. So for all of us.
I'm not so much concerned about the prices, like in terms of how much it will be. I'm super confident that you will make us a super good offer. It has been like that since the beginning of Treepl. I don't worry about the pricing. I only worry about the transition. And, I have clients who would not hesitate to pay more for the platform. That's not the problem. What they would have a problem with is when I quote something and I come up months later saying that quote is not valid anymore. That's the problem.
And
Okay,
even though, and also the features, sorry if I can add to that, like some of us have long, like I know my sales cycles are really long. I don't have the volume on Treepl, but my sales cycles are long, and the clients I deal with are large companies. So it takes me a while to sell, and I'm selling on the features that I know and on the pricing that I know. So that's the challenge on my end. I don't know if it's similar with Tim, but that's the challenge on my end is that, if I'm working with a company like, an oil company, and I've been courting them for 3 months, and now I'm at the proposal stage, and I find out that I'm not going to be able to deliver on a bunch of the features that I've sold them on. That's where it could become problematic for me. So, just putting it out there, just food for thought. This is something to think about. I don't know how the others feel, but pricing, like I agree with Tim, pricing is less of an issue because you can go to a company like that and say, hey, price increase, but when it comes to features, when it comes to promises, it's all about the relationship, and it can end very quickly.
Okay, let me tell you this. I understand your position 100%, and I would have the same concerns. So I have an idea regarding existing sites that I have introduced to the team that communicates with you, and they have approved initially that this idea I have on existing sites, they're going to be approved by the partners. They're going to love it. So we will introduce to some of you very soon, and I'm 90% sure it's going to be a win-win.
So Alex, are actually plans and features changing as well, or is it just the pricing?
We want to change the model.
The model, okay.
Everything. So
okay.
we actually right now what we're doing is, like, as I showed you, we're researching the prices on every platform, the features, and also their model. And we are taking what we like and what we don't like. For example, on the resellers, commission, all that stuff, there are some techniques that other platforms use that we actually enjoy, that may work. So we want to change everything and probably going to create something our own that is more future-proof. Because we don't want, the thing is that I don't like the idea of 4 plans, just 4 plans. Because you have to change them like every 5 years or something, and it's a huge problem. It's a huge challenge for the entire community. So we have ideas on how to avoid that, how to make it more future-proof, how to make it, because it's easier, like, for example, we have a business plan right now. In the 5 years, it can do twice more, because we are developing the platform. We're constantly investing into that, and we're adding features. But at each time we develop that features, we have this argument: what plan do we add it to? You want it into Essential, I want it in the Pro Plus. And we, it's every time we just hit our heads. And in the 5 years, we have to swap it out, and it's stress between us and you. And also it's a stress for you and your client, because you have to tell them, hey, in this past 5 years, we added all these features. You just didn't notice they've been adding, but you got used to them. You've been using them. And you have to sell that to everyone, to all of your customers, rather than we're applying, for example, we're creating this new feature that costs a little extra and has a commission built in, your commission. Your customer is requiring new functionality. You come to, hey, we have this new feature that we can sell you for $5 or $10. And okay, that makes total sense. And it adds up automatically to their next cycling bill. If it's an annual, it's going to get recalculated, and their billing adds $60. If it's monthly, it adds $5. Good sell, you get profit right away. No conflicts, no confrontation between us and you, no confrontation and stress for you and your site owner. That's just, these are one of the things that we're discussing right now. These are the challenges that other platforms have, and the resellers, partners have with their site owners. So we want to build something really awesome for all of us, and we want to involve you big time in the process as well.
So as I understand it, we are not removing any features. It's just actually the price. So Giles wouldn't have any problems with it, actually, because he will still could keep the features, just buy them, add them for a couple of dollars for each feature in some way, right?
Yes, and also my primary goal is to not lose any clients. So I'm like, I really don't imagine somebody would come and say, hey, we lost a client because of the new pricing model. No, I don't imagine this happening based on the ideas that we currently have for the changes. Right now, like, e-commerce is extremely cheap. And we're researching, and the Pro plan as well. We're researching the other platforms, and especially the events module, for example, is huge, especially with the latest updates and stuff. We're researching the capabilities of those functionalities on other platforms on top of the issues they're having during the updates and so on. It just doesn't make sense. and it's not fair towards us as well. So we're thinking, Adam gave us great ideas. Adam been into this conversation with us from the very beginning. So we're thinking on the way, how do we create the pricing model that sells the best, where the resellers get the most value as well. And this paper channel model, it's really, really looking something great. But again, giving you a little sneak peek, making it like a hybrid model with plans, like creating like a hybrid paper channel and plans. There is something very interesting in that. I honestly see the pricing model being one of our selling points in the future for the future resellers. I honestly see that. Let me tell you how we did the pricing plans for Treepl, Zeus and Treepl. Business Catalyst pricing, minus 30% or something, I remember. Done deal. And then we did the e-commerce pricing in the very end because we didn't have all the features, make it super cheap, so more e-commerce side come to us in the Business Catalyst. That was back then. Right now is completely different. Thank you for these comments. This is really cool. I really enjoy that. Thank you. This is really constructive. Oh, good example is multi-site feature. So Steve came to us and he has this idea for community websites. If you don't mind me mentioning that.
Oh, no problem. Yeah.
So he has an idea of multi-site features. You have one admin and a whole bunch of websites. Do you know how many sites you can build on like that on Treepl? As many as you want, and the infrastructure allows it. So on any other platform, look, on the platform that we know, your site would become slow and they would charge you for that and all that stuff. Right now it's a hole in our platform. Steve was right nice, and I should give you credit. So he came to us and said, hey guys, there's opportunity for you. And he even gave us suggestions on what he should pay us to make it fair, which we really appreciate. So after his request, we actually gave a task to one of our admins to check how many sites like that we have. And we have quite a few, and they really, people are taking advantage of the platform. I don't blame them for that. It's not restricted, but I want to make it fair. So that's another example where we suffered. And I don't mind you making those dollars temporarily. We will come to you, but it's going to be a nice transition. Smooth transition.
Alex, as others have mentioned, the concern for me is not so much a change in the way the pricing works. That's fine. It's just, selling new clients moving forward. It is what it is, and I'm sure we can sell it successfully. But transitioning clients from an existing pricing structure to a new one is, in my view, achievable, providing we've got something we can dangle in front of them. So if there is it could be the new brand plus new features, etc. We've got to be able to sell them into it. Essentially, if we can get the client to say, yes, I want that, and sell them into it, or have them sell themselves into it, some new feature, some leap in the ability of the platform that they're going to want, then it becomes quite an easy conversation.
I understand. We will consult on the pricing. In the short list, we have partners with 100+ websites. So for them, that's going to be an option, the problem number one, and the question number one. So we will work on the solution for them that they approve. And I imagine that if they approve it, it's going to work for everyone. And again, the long list of partners is going to be pretty long. I'm pretty sure all of you, most of you, or maybe all of you, are going to be there. So you're going to throw all your feedback at me before it actually goes live. I know it's going to be fun, but we have to go through this.
So Alex, there's a few questions in the chat too. First one from Ryan, and it's relating to the pricing about the expected release date. So maybe you can just speak of some dates that we expect to sort of talk about these pricings.
Yes, that's a good question. So we have a planned strategy to get our platform to the point where we can go in the market and position ourselves towards the competition. So public API will be that feature. So I'm still thinking whether we should, let me see. So the question is, when are we going to integrate that?
Yeah, when the expected sort of pricing model would be launched, but maybe even just when the dates are that we discussed.
Expected is July 2020. But it's not going to fall on your head. Don't worry. It's not that it's there, and now you have to contact all your customers and do all that stuff. So I think we will start in the April, we will start to this conversation with you. So the implementation will start on the current date we have. Oh, the implementation will start in right after this new sprint, which is after current sprint. So June 1st. That's when we're going to start the actual work. So by June 1st, we will have everything finalized and given to the team to do. Is that the one from Ryan? I'm just going to go through questions. I understand a small businesses and nonprofits. I completely understand that. Again, our number one goal is to keep all the clients on the platform because that's what we work from. This is all our businesses. Our income is from existing clients. We don't want to scare them away. What changes to the partner tiers? That's a good question, Scott. We actually gonna discuss that. I didn't expect, but we're open to ideas because we built those around the need of migrating from Business Catalyst to Treepl. So right now, when we're looking at other platforms, and the reseller programs, they're so different from ours. So we're discussing that as well and how we change that to make it fair to the partners that pitched in early. That's a good question. Yeah, we'll discuss this as well. How are the solutions getting more recent? Oh yeah, that's a good question, Jack. Regarding marketing, we do have a marketing project with rebranding is absolutely one of the core steps that for our marketing. But we do have a program. 3 of our employees are into right now with a company, with a third-party company that consults us. That we're gonna end in September. So right after we do the rebranding, we're gonna have a lot of marketing activity. In fact, all of our profits gonna go into marketing. Regarding if the pricing goes up, then I think I'll give a small sneak peek on the pricing as well. We want to target the smaller websites and they like one-page sites and so on. We do want to target the Wix, Squarespace, those guys. We want you not to lose those smaller one-page projects that have a potential of growing to bigger projects. We see that an issue. Again, based on your survey, again, please submit that. Another reminder if you haven't. But that's one of the things we're also considering adding a smaller starter plan for smaller clients. Sometimes a big client wants a small one-page site that they have potential to grow into. But we're gonna do the change for the annual and the monthly, so it's gonna be both proportionally with the discount for annual. Any other questions? Well, thank you for coming, and it was really nice to see you. Last time we saw you was June. Yeah, so that's really exciting. I'm really keen to see all the new pricing and stuff. I think it'll be really good. Hopefully more flexible. So thanks for Alex, and thanks everyone for coming. And yeah, if you got any last questions, now's the time. Else we'll call it a day.